Okay, we're at the trailhead at Gilman on the Allegheny Highlands Trail. So we've skipped the first 3 miles that's paved out of Elkins and came up here to Gilman where it's gravel the rest of the way to get close to Parsons. So we're about 4 miles outside of Elkins and it's 25 miles over to Hendricks. Parsons looks to be about 21 or 22 miles. So we'll see how far we'll go. Definitely go up to Cairns, Montrose, maybe over the moor. You know, this is outside Elkins. It's foggy this morning. It's about 7:30 in the morning. Okay, we just started out here, right outside of Gilman. Allegheny Highlands Trail. Got a groundhog on the trail here. Look at that. Right in front of me. Now this marks the 4th rail trail that I've been on in one form or another, whether on a traditional bike, e-bike, or actually hiking a couple sections. I haven't taken any type of bike on the North Bend Rail Trail, but I have hiked several sections of that. I have a video about all the tunnels there. I'll put a link in the description to this video regarding that. Been on the Elk River Trail, which is closest to where I live. The Greenbrier Trail. And just the other day I was at the fairly new Meadow River Rail Trail. Excellent trail. Now on the Allegheny Highlands. So 5 trails total so far. Later this week we're going to do some videoing over at Cass. We're going to start there and drive down the Greenbrier River Trail. Hopefully catch a few steam trains while we're doing that. That's Route 48 there, out of Elkins. Still foggy, as you can see. Barely see the small mountains. We're up at a higher elevation over here when you're at Elkins. There are some very long, straight stretches on this trail so far. We've come about 2.5 miles since Gilman. Someone's obviously kept up this section. It may be the neighbors here. A couple horses on there. See, right past some residential areas. Still heavy fog. Can't even see the sun. Made it to the Elkins Speedway, which is right down here. Right along 219. This parallels it until we get up outside of north of Montrose. Alright, we have crossed Route 219 back there north of Montrose. And as soon as we did, probably about a 1/4 mile past where you crossed 219, the grade significantly goes up. A lot more than a 1% grade. I'm told that there is a significant pull here. And then pedal assist 2 for whatever you could see there. 10, a little above 10 to 11 here, where I was averaging 12 to 13. And I could tell the torque meter on the motor, it's putting out a lot more torque to get up this grade. Not sure how far it'll be. I could definitely feel this one as I'm trying to assist the motor. It's a pull. Alright, we've made it over to where the new bridge is on 48. Outside of Elkins over towards Parsons. This is getting close to Parsons. Finally the sun's starting to peek out. Look at the design on this. Alright, we made it to Porterwood right here at the trailhead. This is going to be a long climb back up this hill to get back over towards Montrose. It was a long coast down, so it's going to eat up the battery. I think I'm going to go maybe, let's see, from where we're at here. No more than a mile and a half more to right here, overlooking Parsons. Look at this old house here in the woods, right along 219 and the bike route. Taken over by Tom. Huge trees, pine trees on each side of it. Back up the hill. The reason this road is so wide here is they use this old railroad grade to take construction equipment up to the bridge that they built over us. I guess that's State Route 48. I don't believe that's an interstate. The 4-lane up there, that bridge that we filmed on the ground and drone. So for a while the road is pretty wide here until you get up under the bridge itself, where it turns back more into a bike path, and once you're past the bridge it's into the old railroad grade once again. So this is definitely an uphill climb here for probably 3 or 4 miles at least that I coasted down this, and I could tell the motor is putting out a lot more torque, just above 10 depending on how much pedal effort I give it. But if you look at that yellow bar off to the right of the screen there, much clearer. That's where it's really putting out the torque right now to get me up the hill. It's the 4-lane out of Elkins, and we're 3 or 4 miles south of Parsons right now. Pretty impressive span, height-wise and the length. I could see some of those small bike tracks. I ran into a couple as I was going down. They were coming up. I'm down to 9 miles an hour trying to pull this right now. Pedal assist too. As soon as I get back in the woods, I'm going to take a break before I hit the main part of the drag up the hill. Yeah, it's just like this loose gravel just grabbing the bike, slowing it down. Yeah, leveled out a little at least here. Different type of trail than some of the others I've been on. Mixture of riding through the woods, pasture land, some residential areas, particularly when you get closer down to Parsons, and that charcoal plant, Kingsford Charcoal, name brand. They make charcoal there right outside of Parsons, where we flew the drone over that big plant. Yeah, the torque meter's like halfway up as long as I'm pedaling. If I put no effort into it, it's really getting up to 3/4 torque. So it's going to use the battery here. Surprisingly, still showing, I know it's hard to see, full complement on the bars. Obviously, we're a lot less than full, closer to the 4th bar, which I imagine we're going to easily hit that somewhere along this grade. My goal is to at least get to the top here, over to the Elkins side of this mountain, with at least 3 bars. That'll be a good test of the range on a gravel rail trail, going up a pretty steep grade here. The grade on the other side wasn't so bad. We've hit 4 bars. It just dropped. We've been on the bike 2 hours and 13 minutes. So I knew we'd lose the bar coming up this hill. Can't really judge. Maybe another mile. I haven't seen a mile post in quite a while here along the trail. I think we're getting relatively close to the top. 219 is right up there on the bank. I'm going to send a message to the manufacturer about mileage on this odometer. It's showing I've gone 26 miles. I don't believe that's correct based on the known distances here and the other trips that I've taken where there are known distances between mileposts, and even on the road back where I live at. So it's 15 to 20% more mileage on this, because I think it is synced to 26-inch tires, and these are 20-inch tires. So I'm going to send a message to the manufacturer asking, is there a way to reset this? You know, there's nothing in the manual about locking the speed to 20 miles an hour, the throttle and the pedal assist, but I contacted them and they gave me the instructions. They don't have that in their manual. So they did have that, so I'm just wondering if there's a way for them to give me instructions on how to sync this to these 20-inch tires. I can tell you I've hit the top. The road up there looks like it might still be going up, but I'm easily going downhill now because I'm hardly giving any effort, and there's no torque showing on the engine right now. None whatsoever. So I'm absolutely going downhill here finally. So I've lost that bar maybe quarter mile to the top. So I suspect, given the distance remaining, about 9 miles, that I'll pull in back to where I started at with 3 bars showing. You know, I doubt, I'd be shocked if it got less than 3, based on the prior trips I've taken and the fact that we're kind of going down grade all the way back. So that is the Allegheny Highlands Rail Trail outside of Elkins, from Elkins to Parsons. We might catch a couple more filming opportunities back closer to Gilman, where it was foggy when we started. We'll see if there's anything of note to film there. Obviously isolated. I've run into 2 bikers, a couple, and that's it. And it looks like they started down at Porterwood and came up to the top of the mountain and back. That's all they did. Unless I run into someone in the last 9 miles here. Very isolated. It is a Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. Okay, we're south of Montrose, coming up on Cairns in a few miles here, I believe. just pasture land. I'm at 25 miles now of a 32 to 34 mile trek.